After grinding the AMD Ryzen 9 7950X cover with 0.8 mm of metal removed, temperatures dropped by 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. The thick heat distributing cover of AMD Ryzen 7000 processors, which, as one might expect, will help with the distribution of chiplet heat over a larger area, actually negatively affects cooling. This is once again proved by the study of YouTube blogger Jay's 2 cents. A specialist managed to reduce the processor temperature by about 5.6 degrees Celsius by removing a metal layer with a thickness of about 0.8 mm from the lid. Scalping the processor is the most effective solution, but also the most dangerous. The processor is very easy to damage, especially AMD Ryzen 7000, under the lid of which there is solder, and the lid itself has a complex shape and is surrounded by many capacitors. Sanding is safer and, as the video suggests, quite effective. A set of special tools will be required, so Jay's 2 cents used a sanding frame from specialist Romanderi Harding, a grinding machine for rough processing, as well as a stand with a smooth surface and a fine-grained sanding sheet for final processing and leveling. It is difficult to remove a layer of metal without distortions, but the grinding frame has special protrusions levels, so that the surface of the processor eventually turns out to be flat and parallel to the plane of the substrate, although this did not save from a slight skew in one of the corners. After grinding, as expected, there were problems with the contact between the base of the cooling system and the processor cover, but in the case of the system used, we managed to get rid of the thrust washers from the mounting posts. Before polishing, the temperature of the AMD Ryzen 9 7950X in the Cinebench R23 test managed to rise to 94 degrees Celsius at core clock speeds in the first chiplet, CCD0, of about 5.1 GHz and the second chiplet, CCD1, of about 5.0 GHz. After grinding, the temperature dropped to 88.89 degrees Celsius, and the frequencies became a little higher, by a couple of tenths of megahertz. Replacing the thermal paste with a more expensive and efficient version of Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut Extreme allowed reducing the temperature to 84.85 degrees Celsius. When overclocking all cores to 5.4 GHz, the temperature in the test increased to 89.90 degrees Celsius.